Welcome to another journey through literature.
Today, we're diving into a real classic, Robert Louis Stevenson's The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
It really is timeless, isn't it? Still gets under your skin, exploring, human nature, science gone maybe a bit too far, and that hidden self we all perhaps wrestle with.
Definitely. And our focus today is a big one, Chapter 8. It's called The Last Night.
Ominous title.
Very. And it really is the turning point, the climax of the whole novel. This is where all those mysteries start to break open and some pretty disturbing truths come crawling out.
Yeah, Stevenson's been winding the spring tighter and tighter up to this point, hasn't he? Just layer upon layer of dread and questions.
Exactly. So maybe before we jump right into The Last Night, we should just quickly recap where we are, remind ourselves how we got to this breaking point.
Good idea. So remember Mr. Utterson, the lawyer?
Yeah.
Very steady, very rational.
The Victorian ideal, almost.
Right. And he's been getting increasingly worried, like this gut feeling about his old friend Dr. Jekyll. And that worry really kicked into high gear when he saw Jekyll's will.
The will. That was the first big shock.
Huge shock. It left everything, the entire estate, to this shadowy, frankly, repulsive figure, Mr. Hyde. Utterson just couldn't wrap his head around it. It felt wrong, almost offensive to him.
It went against everything he stood for, order, respectability. Stevenson even tells us Utterson has nightmares about this faceless man, Hyde. It shows how deep that unease goes, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not just legal concern, it's visceral. This Hyde character just doesn't fit into his well-ordered world.
And just as Utterson's grappling with this, things took a really dark turn with the murder of Sir Danvers Carew.
Oh, brutal. Just horrible. And the key detail, the thing that connects it all.
The cane.
The cane. The murder weapon was this distinctive cane that Utterson himself had given to Jekyll years ago.
Which immediately puts Hyde in the frame, but it also kind of splashes back onto Jekyll, doesn't it? Makes you wonder about his connection, his complicity.
Absolutely. And the description of the murder itself, that ape-like fury, it just rips through that polite Victorian surface.
Total savagery. The maid who saw it described Hyde trampling the body. It's hellish to see. It makes Hyde terrifyingly real, not just some abstract fear anymore.
So after the Carew murder, Jekyll just disappears into himself.
Completely retreats, locks himself away. He was this sociable guy, respected, and suddenly he's like a prisoner in his own house.
Refusing visitors, even Utterson.
Hmm.
And then adding to the mystery, there's the whole business with Dr. Lanyon.
Right, another old friend. Suddenly gets sick, dies very mysteriously.
And leaves Utterson this letter, sealed, with strict instructions. Don't open it until Jekyll is dead or has disappeared.
Talk about adding suspense. Lanyon clearly knew something terrible that happened between him and Jekyll, something he couldn't even bring himself to write down fully until after his own death.
It leaves Utterson just reeling, trying to figure out what horrifying secret could possibly connect these two friends and lead to this.
And then, just to twist the knife further, Stevenson gives us that scene.
The window incident.
Chilling.
Utterson and Enfield are on their usual walk. They see Jekyll at his lab window.
And there's this moment, this flash of transformation, right? Jekyll's smile just vanishes, replaced by this look of absolute terror.
Yeah, it froze the very blood of Utterson and Enfield. It's not just sadness. It's something inhuman taking over right there in front of them.
In broad daylight, too. It makes it so much more immediate, so much more disturbing for Utterson. It confirms there's this deep, dark struggle happening, maybe this awful link to Hyde, but still no answers.
Just more dread.
Exactly. So that brings us right to the doorstep of Chapter 8, The Last Night. And the big question hanging over everything is, what on earth is actually going on behind that locked laboratory door?
What's happened to Jekyll? What's Hyde's role in all this? This chapter feels like it has to give us something.
The tension is just unbearable at this point. We need answers. And Stevenson throws us right into the thick of it, shifting the focus inside Jekyll's house, mainly through Poole, the butler.
Poole. Loyal, long-serving Poole.
But he's reached his limit here. He's not just concerned, he's terrified. Utterson finds him in a state of real desperation.
You can feel it coming off him, can't you?
Yeah.
His fear is so strong it makes him break all the rules of Victorian servitude. Go to Utterson like this.
He's convinced something terrible has happened. Foul play, he calls it. He thinks his master might already be dead. It's not just a hunch. It's this deep, chilling certainty.
And that's a big shift in how this story is told, isn't it? Before, we were mostly following Utterson's investigations, sort of looking from the outside in.
Exactly. Now we're right there inside the house, feeling the fear, the confusion, alongside Poole and the other servants. It's much more immediate, much more intense.
And Poole's conviction is key. He insists the person locked in the cabinet isn't Jekyll. He's certain it's Hyde.
He says it outright. Poole is convinced that the man inside the room is Mr. Hyde and Dr. Jekyll has been murdered. He bases this on changes. He's noticed the voice, the way the person moves, things only someone who knew Jekyll well would pick up on.
That's chilling. And the atmosphere in the house. Stevenson paints such a grim picture.
Oh, completely. It's oppressive. Poole is frantic, and the other servants are just terrified, huddled together like a flock of sheep. That image really sticks with you, their helplessness.
And the weather outside. Wild, windy.
Yeah, the wind's howling, making it hard to even talk. It's classic Gothic, the external chaos reflecting the internal turmoil. Nature itself seems disturbed by what's happening inside that house. It really amps up the sense of foreboding.
So, what specific things has Poole seen or heard that convinces him and Utterson that something is terribly wrong?
Well, his report is full of these disturbing details. First, Jekyll, or whoever is in there, has been confined for days, just locked away.
Communicating only through notes slipped under the door.
Right. Which just screams secrecy, doesn't it? It's like Jekyll is physically embodying that hidden self, cutting off all direct contact.
And those notes themselves are strange, demanding chemicals.
Constantly. Poole says he's been sent flying to all the wholesale chemists in town, desperately searching for specific medicines, specific salts that he just can't find anywhere.
Which suggests Jekyll's desperate, right? Dependent on this potion.
Absolutely. It points to this addiction, this reliance on the substance that causes the transformation, and the fact that the right ingredients can't be found. Maybe the original batch had an impurity. Maybe something's changed. It suggests Jekyll's losing control, unable to get back, perhaps.
It forces Poole and Utterson to guess, to piece together this horror story from these scraps of information.
And Poole tries to describe what little he has managed to glimpse. He says sometimes he catches a glimpse of a face at the cabinet window. But is it Jekyll? Or someone wearing a mask?
That uncertainty is terrifying. Is it Jekyll, disfigured? Or is it Hyde pretending? The lines are blurring completely.
And then there's the sound. Poole is adamant about the footsteps. He knows Jekyll's walk after 20 years.
And these aren't Jekyll's footsteps.
No. He says, with chilling certainty, they belong to Hyde. That distinct presence, pacing back and forth like a caged animal right there in Jekyll's private space.
And he hears weeping, too, doesn't he?
Yes, which adds this layer of, well, sadness almost. It suggests Jekyll is still in there somewhere, suffering, maybe full of remorse, trapped by this thing he's unleashed, a prisoner of his own creation.
But the most striking description, the most unsettling,
has to be when Poole talks about catching a glimpse at the figure who then scuttles away. Poole asks Utterson, why did he cry out like a rat and run from me?
like a rat. That simile is so powerful.
It's incredibly effective. It conveys that primal fear, the creature's aversion to being seen, its desperate, degraded state. But more than that, it dehumanizes him completely.
Connects right back to all those earlier animalistic descriptions of Hyde.
Exactly. The ape-like fury, the trampling, now he's a rat scurrying from the light. It shows how far removed this being is from the sophisticated Dr. Jekyll. Utterson must be horrified hearing this.
Which brings us neatly to Utterson's own struggle here. He's caught, isn't he? Between his rational mind and the sheer horror of Poole's story.
Definitely. His first instinct, as always, is to rationalize. He suggests maybe Jekyll has some kind of degenerative illness, something that explains the changes in appearance and voice.
Try to fit it into a known box. A medical explanation.
His lawyer's brain desperately searching for precedent, for logic, but Poole's evidence, his conviction, the sheer weirdness of it all, it starts to break through Utterson's rational defenses. He's forced to consider something else, something maybe supernatural.
And you see his Victorian values at play too, his initial hesitation.
Oh, hugely. He's desperate not to take action, because involving the authorities, causing a scandal, especially around someone like Jekyll, that's unthinkable in their society. Reputation is everything.
The source material really emphasizes that, doesn't it? The fear of scandal.
Immense. The thought of foul play, murder in a respectable home like Jekyll's, it would shatter his standing, and Utterson feels a duty to protect that, even now.
So his decision to handle it privately first, to break in themselves before calling the police, it's about loyalty, but also about managing the potential damage to Jekyll's name.
It's a fascinating mix of loyalty, duty, and that deep-seated Victorian need to keep up appearances, even when faced with the absolutely bizarre and terrifying.
So Utterson finally makes the decision they have to get inside.
And this leads us to the absolute climax of the novel, breaking down the laboratory door.
You can feel the tension ratchet up. This isn't just opening a door, it's a violation.
It really is. The decision to use force and axe, a kitchen poker. It's such a break from Utterson's usual cautious, reserved character. He's crossing a line, driven by this awful necessity.
It's a forceful intrusion into Jekyll's most private space, the place where all the secrets are kept.
And that locked cabinet door becomes this powerful symbol, doesn't it? It's the physical barrier representing Jekyll's secrecy, his hidden self, the evil he tried to contain.
So breaking it down is like shattering that secrecy,
Yeah.
unleashing the truth.
Violently. And that sound Stevenson describes as they start breaking through that dismal screech as of a mere animal terror from inside.
Chilling. Purely animalistic.
It's Hyde's raw fear, isn't it? As his sanctuary is breached, it links back perfectly to the ape-like, the rat-like imagery. It's the sound of the monster being exposed.
So they finally break in. What do they find?
A strange, unsettling contrast. The main laboratory space is described as being neat and clean and in perfect order.
Which is surprising, maybe, given the
Yeah.
circumstances. Shows Jekyll's habits, perhaps.
Even in his final moments, perhaps. But then, amidst that order lies the chaos, the twitching body of a man lying on the floor.
Twitching. That detail is so graphic.
It is, and the contrast between the tidy lab and this dying figure is stark. It's like a visual metaphor for Jekyll's whole experiment trying to impose scientific order on the chaos of human nature and failing catastrophically.
The order makes the horror stand out even more.
And the body, of course, they quickly identify as Hyde, and he appears to have taken his own life. Suicide.
Which is a grim end for Hyde. But it doesn't solve the biggest mystery. Where is Jekyll?
Exactly. Hyde's death provides a kind of resolution, but it deepens the central enigma. It confirms the link Hyde can't exist without Jekyll, it seems, but it doesn't explain how or why.
Stevenson is masterful there, giving an answer that only raises more questions, leaving Jekyll's fate hanging.
It keeps you hooked, needing those final explanations, which of course are coming in the letters.
And inside the lab, besides the body, there are other significant things they find. The chemicals.
Right, the chemical experiments scattered around, despite the general tidiness. A reminder of the scientific or pseudoscientific roots of this whole tragedy. It plays into those Victorian fears about science overstepping its bounds.
Tampering with things man wasn't meant to tamper with.
Precisely. And then there's the mirror.
Ah, the mirror. That feels hugely symbolic.
It really is. It represents duality, obviously, but also Jekyll's self-observation, doesn't it? He must have watched the transformations happen in that very glass.
Forced to confront the monster he was becoming. Imagine looking into the mirror and seeing Hyde staring back.
Horrifying. It embodies that confrontation with the hidden self. And Poole even says something about it, doesn't he? Something like,
This glass have seen some strange things, sir.
Brenner.
Spoken with real dread.
Yeah. It's like the mirror is a silent witness to all the horror that unfolded in that room. It highlights that theme of appearance versus reality that runs through the whole book.
And then finally, the key. The literal key to the rest of the story.
The envelope, addressed to Utterson, found prominently placed.
This is the moment the narrative shifts again, isn't it?
Yeah.
From action to written testimony.
Absolutely. Inside, there are two crucial things. First, a new will.
And this one doesn't name Hyde,
No. This time, Jekyll leaves everything to Utterson.
which tells us.
Yeah.
What? What does that change signify?
It feels like Jekyll's last attempt to, well, maybe salvage something. Protect his reputation, perhaps, by putting his affairs in Utterson's trustworthy hands. Or maybe a final act of friendship, acknowledging Utterson's loyalty when he knew Hyde was beyond control.
A final nod to his old self, maybe, before he was completely lost.
Perhaps. And alongside the will is the other document, Jekyll's own confession, his narrative, but with specific instructions.
Right. He tells Utterson to read Dr. Lanyon's letter first. The one Lanyon left before he died.
It's another brilliant structural choice by Stevenson. It delays the final reveal, builds suspense one last time, and ensures Utterson and the reader get the full picture in a specific, controlled order.
Jekyll is managing the narrative of his downfall, even from beyond the grave. He wants Lanyon's perspective understood before his own.
Exactly. As if you need Lanyon's shocked external view to fully prepare you for the horror of Jekyll's internal account.
So recapping chapter out then. It's undeniably the climax. Poole's terror. Utterson breaking his own code, breaking down the door.
Leading to that horrific discovery. Hyde's body apparently by suicide, and Jekyll just gone.
Hyde is physically dealt with, but the mystery around Jekyll and their connection actually deepens.
It absolutely does. And the discovery of the new will and the two letters, Lanyon's and Jekyll's, sets the stage perfectly for the final explanations. We've moved past the action, now it's time for the confessions.
It answers the what happened to Hyde question, but leaves the what happened to Jekyll, and crucially, the how and why did any of this happen? Questions hanging, ready for the next chapters.
It's the pivot point.
Yeah,
From mystery and suspense to impending revelation.
and that revelation starts immediately in Chapter 9, Dr. Lanion's narrative. That's where Utterson will finally open the first letter.
And begin to understand the truth that so horrified Lanyon, it literally killed him. We'll finally get insights into the scientific, the supernatural mechanism behind it all.
It's where the rational world Utterson inhabits is going to collide head-on with the unbelievable. This chapter, The Last Night, really shows the extreme measures people take to hide things, doesn't it? Even from those closest to them. Makes you wonder, what does Stevenson suggest is the real cost of hiding who we truly are? Is it even possible to escape the darker parts of ourselves?
A profound question, and one the final chapters force us to confront.
Thank you for joining us on this literary journey. Hit subscribe and share to become part of our AI human collaboration, where every listener helps shape future episodes.